y'all, I just truly love her heart, her spirit, as a sales director, but also as a busy mom of 3 girls, and not big girls that you have to like help do things. And so I chose her because as we get back to leadership, I know that you heard a lot of information and a lot of strategies. And I asked Jess to speak to you today because I feel she is great at filtering through all the information and all the energy from our events, and then to pull out just the 1 or 2 nuggets to run with rather than changing course or overcorrecting. Because I know that you're all have great programs, and sometimes we need to stay the course. And she's just really good at that. So I'm going to introduce her with her official introduction. Independent Sales Director Jessica Mitchell began her Mary Kay business in May of 2009 and debuted as a sales director in August of 2010. She's achieved 11 gold medals. She has been a star consultant for 56 quarters. She achieved On the Move, Fabulous 50s, Honor Society, making her a Triple Crown Achiever, and, oh goodness, the coveted Dean's List Achiever, which means she got that cool ring. She qualified for 9 career cars, 3 of them the beautiful pink Cadillac. She's a 7-time member of the Queen's Court of Personal Styles, including once in the top 20. She led her unit to achieve 10 unit circle appearances. She is a 6-time double star achiever. So ladies, please welcome from McKinney, Texas, a member of the Mary Kay National Area, Independent Sales Director Jessica Mitchell.
Well, thank you so much for that, Stacy, and just for the invitation to share. I'm sure anyone who talks to our sister directors feels very honored and challenged because we are all growing and learning and doing so much. And so my prayer is just that something I share will give you that little bit of encouragement or clarity that you need. So 2 questions to answer. How do we take all the amazing stuff we learned at leadership and really move forward with it? If you've ever come home from a conference and you're really inspired and 2 weeks later you can't remember one thing that you heard, you would be similar to me. I've been there. And so I want to just share 5 things that I do to integrate what I learn at any conference, leadership and others, into my life and really try to make the most of the time and the money and the energy that I invested to go. And so the first one is to guard my mindset. And Stacy alluded to this. Early in my career, I would go and just suck every single word in and make massive changes and try to just do all the things. And that was not wise. It was not wise. Or maybe you have ever sat at a conference or left and it was great, but you're honestly feeling that word that we don't like to attach to ourselves, overwhelmed or inadequate. I have been there as well. And if you have had those feelings ever or recently, I want you to remember this. 2 things. You build your strong, thriving business 1 piece at a time. You will build your strong, thriving business 1 piece at a time. And the second part is you will build it as you need it. You will build it as you need it. I still have those moments where that feeling will start to come upon me as I'm listening and taking things in of, I don't feel adequate or I feel overwhelmed. And so there's a few things that I've taught myself and learned through others how to handle the conference itself and the material and then what to do with it. So specifically, the hardest time when I felt this was back in 2018 at Seminar. I don't know if y'all remember the last pink suit. That was my favorite up until now. So that year I was still in, when I got to Seminar, about 1.5 years of a wilderness. And I was pretty low in my belief. And I went very unwillingly to Seminar. My senior, who's on here today, she had a chat with me and said, look, if you're going to take a paycheck from this company, you can at least show up to their events. And I took that and it resonated and I showed up at Seminar. And I'm so grateful that I did, y'all. I've had so many great events, but that is the one that I will always remember as you cannot afford to miss. You don't know what God is going to do and how he's going to intersect in your life. I'm still so grateful. And I'm so glad that she had the courage to push me because God met me there. The very first speech, I remember Senior National Sales Director Julia Burnett speaking from her heart. And it hit me and it rocked me and it brought back that belief in this opportunity. And so I went home and I began the work of rebuilding my personal business and my unit from maintenance, like very just blah, to actually growing. And many times throughout that, I would feel some paralysis by what I used to do when I had this, or what I used to do with that, or even just hearing tips from top leaders. That sense would come. My brain would freeze up. My emotions would lock down. And so I learned to do 3 things when that feeling would arise. And number 1 was just to step away from it. Instead of like grabbing it and holding it and going, oh no, what's this? It was like, no, wait, that's not me. Step away. Number 2, stop and just grab 1 or 2 things that are my next best steps for where I am of all the amazingness. Just grab 1 or 2 of my next best steps that I've heard. And then 3, implement them and release the rest. And if it means just letting it go, fine. If I want to save it on the computer for later, fine. But really not feeling worried about all the good ideas that I wasn't using quite yet. So that is my first recommendation. And what I try to do is guard my mindset carefully, guard the things that are already working, and not be overwhelmed or inadequate about the things that aren't for me yet. The second thing I do is I review and I organize all my notes. So many of you may do this. I like to record the classes because I really want to be present as I listen, and I want to feel and I want to like take in the whole experience. So I'll jot down highlights, but I really like to just record it and mostly listen and be there. So afterward, I listen back through my recordings, I take down just important notes, and then I type everything out in a Word document. For me, that's a way of like sinking the information in again, and it helps me to organize it. So I have some categories that I will split things out into. They're not like locked in, but these are the ones from this year. I had quotes. So just good quotes that I heard that I might want to add into my affirmations or share with someone or put on my wall. So I'll do quotes, and then another section of my notes, I'll put ideas. Just good ideas that I heard that I don't want to forget. Third, product tips, things that I can take to my customers or to my unit. Fourthly, just good words. I heard one that I've already used since we've been home, one who was talking about objections. And when somebody gives her one, she says, you're probably right. And then asks a question to dig deeper. And I just loved that. So I took those words. And then lastly is to-dos. The to-dos. What were the things that hit me that I was like, I need to do this now. This is my stuff. And so once I organize those areas, then the third thing I do is I just literally plan out when I'm going to do the to-dos. When am I going to fit this in the next couple of weeks? Maybe I can delegate it. Maybe it's something I can automate, but I'm just going to cross those off one by one so that I actually take action on the things that hit me, and I make that time to do it. Fourth, I share the shareables. So the things that we heard that were just so good for our leaders or for our unit members or people in our life, the repetition actually helps me remember it better. It like cements more in my heart by the time I start to pass on things to some of those people. And then lastly, I always have 1 or 2 messages that like hit my heart in a special way, and I will listen to those over and over to make sure I like really absorb that and just start to get that into my heart. And so those things help me to really activate what I learned without being overwhelmed or distracted, but to really just get it done and move forward. And so I hope that one of those thoughts might have given you some food for thought, some encouragement in how to take that on. And then the next question is, okay, what am I focusing on from now to the end? We heard some amazing things at Leadership, and the company has such incredible plans for us. So how do we walk forward? And so I'm going to share with you just what my focus is. And what I loved was hearing more of the inside of the power of one more. So I feel like I'm going to be driven by that motto that they've given us, the power of one more. And Holly Lowe, the final speech on the final day, was my speech that I needed to listen to over and over for the next 6 months. So again, I was reminded I can't go early, I can't come late. I have got to hear it all because I never know where those nuggets are going to be at events. But her speech was so beautiful, but it encapsulated what I think the point is of this. I want to be the person who asked one more person. I want to remember as we move forward that next person could be the one that was praying for something, whether it's for her skin or all the way through to her future. And I don't want to forget that, and that I was a one more. And it was just such a beautiful way that I feel, empowered us to also keep it simple. And we can pass this on to our team and our leaders that are coming up on the hard days, on the days where you're just not feeling it and you're discouraged. Can I just do one more? What if there's one more person out there that I can touch? And it's really paying it forward that we got to be that person a long time ago, many years ago. And so that's really like what I want to ring in my heart as we're moving forward. And what I'm focusing on is actually really simple. I am a simple girl, and I learned partly through Mary Kay that I like to take complex and make it simple. That's just how I'm wired. I love to do that, and I'm very consistent. I don't want to be telling my people 40 different things and this and that and this and that. I like to kind of stack it. So if we do this, it'll bring this, and then it'll bring this. That's just more what resonates with me, and I feel like a confused mind does nothing. And so the more that I can simplify our focus, the better I am and the better my people are. So what we are running on is just a couple of specific things. Back when I first recommitted in 2018 to leading here in Mary Kay, after a couple of years, I started to develop this thing that I call the winner's circle. I had realized that really what caused me to burn myself out and just let some stuff fall apart 7 years into my business was that I had created a culture that was performance focused. And what I mean by performance focused is constant frenetic effort. On to the next, forward, without establishing the foundation that needed to be beneath that to hold it up and the purpose that would like glue it all together. It was all about doing the faces, moving up, going fast. In a word, it was ambition driven, very, very much. And if I had to put a phrase around it, as yucky as it sounds, people had really become more of a means to an end than the end itself. And there's nothing that we did bad or regrets in like handling people poorly or unethical dealings, nothing like that. And I wouldn't have even known that at the time. But looking back, as God worked on me, putting me on my face and humbling me big time, I could see, this is more about what I want and where I want to go and what I want to accomplish than who I want to impact at the very core. And that was the culture that I created. And so we didn't have deep purpose, and we didn't have a place for the everyday woman to win. So I went to work to transform that culture from performance driven to service focused. And what that means to me is focusing on adding value, honoring people for who they are, not what I think I'm going to gain in the end, slowing down when necessary, nurturing relationships over time, and instead of ambition driven, being purpose driven. So the question that I lead with our new consultants in our new consultant training, all the way up to developing leaders, and something I ask myself constantly is, what do you want for the women you serve? What do you want for the women you're going to serve? And shifting that, it took time, but it has been the most rewarding, amazing, awesome experience. Has it taken longer than I thought? Yes, everything does. But it has been joy-filled and fulfilling and amazing. And so with that shift, I found Leah Lachlan, who is a wonderful national sales director that I used to live close to, and she was doing this concept of daily wins with her people. And I kind of took it and then morphed it and grew it. And this is what my people and I live and die by every day, every week. And the concept of daily wins is just choosing up to 5 things you're going to do each day that feel kind of like easy. They're not supposed to be hard and scary, and they're pretty much in your control. So it would be things like making calls, reaching out, having conversations. It wouldn't be get a team member or sell $100. It's things you can control that feel almost easy to do, maybe just a little bit of a stretch. And so with my people, this has created a place where all people can choose their level of path, and they can go at the pace they want to go, but whether they have just a little bit of commitment and a little bit of interest or a lot and big dreams, they all can run on the track of daily wins, which builds consistency. It builds confidence. For some people, making the call needs to feel like the victory because that's what they can do right now. It's increasing their results, but it's kind of backing into it instead of focusing on the outcomes. They just focus on, did I do it? And so there's 5 categories of wins that we look at with my people: lead generation, booking, nurturing client relationships. So the people you already have, just going deeper and serving them well. That's something that we missed a lot in my first handful of years. Sharing the opportunity, and then something for their head and heart. Sometimes it's getting their vision clear, or their purpose and writing it every day. Sometimes it's planning the day a day ahead and just doing better with that. So many different things that they can choose. That one tends to change a lot as they're getting some good habits instilled, and they'll add and do something different. But with those 5 wins, they get to set the pace and the course. And so there's women in my unit who are school counselors, and Mary Kay is an hour of their time, but she's tripled her sales in a couple of years because she just picked a couple wins that she knew she could handle. And she just does them week after week after week. And I pay them. I don't do a whole lot of extra prizes, but I do some cash rewards for people who just send me their sheet every week throughout the whole year. And they get more for if they do the whole year or half the year or whatever. But it's really created confidence and a track for everyone. And as they grow, of course, we expand it and we do tie-in results. For the women who are ready to go, okay, how many faces did you see? How many sharing and conversations did you have? What sales did that create? We get there. That's important, but it's been so fun to honor and celebrate and reward women for the showing up part, the showing up day after day after day. And so that is really what I live and die by with my people, with my own business, and that is leading us to the results that we're working towards. I'm writing every single day in my journal, these are the things that I want to accomplish this year. And so I look at dollars per day. Of course, that adds up to a certain unit club goal. So we have our unit club goal, but I break it down to how much in wholesale do we need on a daily basis to come in, because I wanted the woman who ordered $50 to count. I wanted the woman who ordered $1,000 to count. Of course, they get recognition at those higher levels, but for every single woman who's in my team, if her victory was getting a reorder, that was $40, I want her to know it mattered. And so we look at that as a unit, and then also for consultants individually. And they may have a daily number they want in their sales to hit their goals. So it builds to soaring sisters, we call it, and it builds to stars. They know $40 a day is what you need to sell to have those rewards, and more importantly, to make $500 profit for their family. That number is life-changing. And if $40 a day can create that, I feel like it just brings all the fear down. It gives people something so simple. So then they align their daily wins to their daily sales total that they want, and all the other parts and pieces there. So on Mondays, to help keep this in front of everybody, I sit down in my first little hour sweep in my office, and I just add up what were our orders last week each day. And then I share it with my team. I let them know on Facebook how we did with our daily goal, and I tag every single person who ordered and thank them. And then I go in and I'll text every person who ordered more than, say, like $50, depending on who it is, and just let them know you are making a difference for our team's success. Thank you for being here. Sometimes, did you try anything new this time? And ask some questions, but I really feel like it's been a way to say every single person here in our team matters. And then monthly we track that as well. And it's really been awesome to do dollars per day. So that's the first thing that I'm watching, to see that we're tracking towards our unit club goals and where we can adjust. The second thing that I look at is how many new we have each month and how many shares we need to do. I track both of those with my team on a picture, like a Canva picture. And this is the piece that I'm working the hardest on this year. I've spent 6 years now resetting the culture and teaching people how to make money and enjoy their Mary Kay business at any level and know that they're valued. And the piece that has been the weakest on my side as a leader has been the sharing side. And so at seminar this past year, it finally clicked in my brain. Jess, the difference between where you are and where you would like to be is more people, your unit size. I've only heard it 100 times, but I could receive that message. And I now had that confidence that I can really help people. We can do this. And for my journey, this is how God is helping me get there. And so our path for that, of what we're working towards together, is a mantra. And we are saying 150 or more by March 2024. 150 or more by March 2024. And then our ultimate goal is 175 by seminar. So we have a picture from Canva that has just a circle for all the people. And then when we add women, we put their face in the circle so that we can see our team growing and the new people coming. I send that on our newsletter and social media and email, just reminding them. And I personally write out who I want to bring into our team every day. I have a list of the qualities that I want in these women. So I'm writing that. And then we have just little pictures where we track our new and our shares both. I want them to understand that the new come from sharing. Sometimes we want to skip that part. And so helping them see, if we want to add 10, we need 40 shares. And so we just track who did it and how many they've done. As they add someone new, we put them onto that picture, and we just celebrate that every week at our meeting. We talk through who's coming in and who's sharing. But something that's helped me, because even a monthly number has been it can be overwhelming or intimidating to look at how many shares we need. So I broke it down to a week at a time. And I have an app on my phone that's called the Habit Tracker app. Habit Tracker app. Very straightforward. And I can input the things that I want to be doing daily, weekly, monthly. So I added a goal for 10 shares per week. And it's at the very top. It's the first one I see when I open my app. And then I have a button I can add every single share, add, until we hit 10. And then it gives me like confetti. And that has just been a really helpful reminder for me when I'm not in my office, when I'm not looking at tracking sheets, when I'm getting ready for bed at night. Okay, Lord, help me to think, who is the next person you want me to share with? And it's just helped it stay in front of me. So if anybody needs a good way to keep your good habits in front of you and track it in a close-up way, that's been helpful for me. So that's what we're doing together, is just tracking our shares, tracking how many women are coming in new. And mostly we do either the Coupon Club or conversations with women. If you haven't heard of Coupon Club, I'm not going to break that down today for sake of time, but it's out there, very well known as a way to share the opportunity with women using the It Just Fits videos. And they input questions, and it just creates a conversation. And what I love about Coupon Club is it gives a low bar that people who maybe are super busy or not super committed or just not confident yet with sharing to say, hey, you want the coupons? Just click this link and do these things. And it has created some really great conversations, and it's giving them a chance to learn. And it's just allowing for more conversations to be held. Obviously, with our seasoned girls and the leaders that we're growing, I'm teaching them, how do you have those conversations? How do you hand select someone to share the opportunity? And for those women, conversations are definitely what we want. But I love having both available. Something easy and quick. It's not super scary for the average girl. And then something that we can grow into with more intention. And it really allows everyone to be a part of our sharing goal. I've seen people who are very fringy, like turn them in at the end of the month when we need 3 more. They get people to do it. And I just have loved that a lot. So besides that, my focus is just helping women move up and identifying where the leaders are. So our daily dollars per day, growing our unit size and tracking the sharing that we're doing and helping women move up, just working really closely with 3 to 5 people, having the conversations, and more than anything, helping them with their head, with their thoughts, with their belief, and with their heart, and how to connect it all to cast a vision that draws people into what they're doing. And that will hopefully, and it will certainly, create the Unit Club wins and the 6 important things victories, as well as even the March to More accomplishments that many of us have on our hearts. And so as I close, I just want to remind you guys, you're building your business one piece at a time as you need it. And that is good, and that is okay. And secondly, building a culture that's service focused and purpose driven, that's built on very simple daily steps that every woman can take, will lead more and more women to earn income, to have fun, to grow and thrive as far as they want to go with their businesses. And I really do believe that it is the path to everything that we want in our businesses. So that's what I have for you.
Whoa. Yes. So, okay, Jess, you probably couldn't see the chat as it was going, but they are loving, and I was watching, everyone's head was down writing, as was mine. So thank you so much. That is exactly, number one, how you break down what you hear at events and organize it in a way that you can refer back to it and how it can really feed you. That, gosh, I think all of us, even as staff who are there to learn, have had difficulty with that. And I'm definitely going to use those tips.